A man shot his father over stinky feet. A woman tried to run her boyfriend over while on the way to couples therapy. And an airline's flight makes a diversion after the pilot says he's not certified to land the plane. These are the weird stories for Monday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a A man in Iowa shot his father after complaints about smelly feet. I think the most surprising part of this story is that it didn't take place in Florida. We have an Iowa man who decided to shoot his father in the face after the victim complained about the son's smelly feet. Well, that's a choice. You know, you're like, maybe some foot spray. Nah, let me just shoot Pops in the face. I want to continue living with my smelly feet, and I don't want to be told that I cannot have smelly feet. My smelly feet have gotten me quite far in life. I'm still living with Pops, after all. There's so many stories involving kids living with their parents way late into adulthood that just simply do not end well, I've noticed as a pattern on Weird AF News. We have Mr. David Carpenter, the son, 48 years old, faces a charge of attempted murder after investigators arrested him in a case that illustrates how quickly relatively minor interpersonal quarrels can escalate into shootings in the United States. According to some estimates, the U.S. has more guns than people. Come to the USA, maybe you'll get shot in the face. Yes, so sad. Such a sad state of affairs over here when you have the majority of our gun owners seem to be the least qualified. They seem to have a lot of guns and not so many brain cells. This is the regulated militia that our forefathers spoke of, though, so don't worry about that. We're all in good hands here. Back to the story about this loving father-son relationship that we have here. A local hospital treated Carpenter's father for a bullet wound to the face on Sunday night. He told the officers who interviewed him, "How's that? You take a bullet to the face, then you can still give an interview?" This is a real badass, this father, I have to say. He told the officers at the hospital that his son had shot him after the pair argued at home over the younger man's stinky feet. Yeah, that sounds about meth. The police spoke with the son about this. The loving son confirmed to the police that he had been in the family's living room when his father, in a motorized scooter, said the son's feet smelled badly. The remark prompted the two to bicker heatedly about various familial problems, and Carpenter claimed he heard his father threaten to shoot him, and so he took some action and shot his father. His father's in a motorized scooter, by the way, and shoots him in the face. I assume that means like kind of like a wheelchair situation. You shoot your father, who's in a wheelchair, in the face, rather than reach for the foot powder. Yeah. Okay, the guy says he walked into his bedroom, grabbed a gun, returned to his father. Carpenter described hiding the firearm behind his back, yelling at his father about guns, then aiming the weapon at the older man's face and accidentally pulling the trigger. Yeah, accidentally. You know, accidents. Accidentally shot his dad in the face. Total accident. Yeah, he's like, officers, I was aiming for the feet. Oh, and here's the kicker. He was also arrested for not just attempted murder, but child endangerment, because investigators say there were two minors under the age of 14 in the home where the shooting had occurred. Oh, boy. This is all well and good. The kids, they got a chance in life, huh? They're learning nice lessons, too, by being around this household that, A, it's totally fine to solve your problems by reaching for a pistol, and B, it's really simply fine to go about life with extremely stinky feet, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. A woman tries to run her boyfriend over on the way to couples therapy. So I guess it's not going well, and I'm not sure the therapy is working, but, you know, baby steps, guys, baby steps. We have here a 30-year-old Minnesota woman who's in custody after an incident on the way to couples therapy. Her name is Veronica Rolene Gast. She was arrested for second-degree assault, criminal vehicular operations, bodily harms, gross negligences, and domestic assaults, according to the affidavit. Gast was driving to a couples therapy appointment with her boyfriend when the incident occurred. Before the incident, Gast and her boyfriend had been a couple for about 1 year, And according to the report, the couple were on their way to the therapist when Gast's boyfriend announced he was breaking up their relationship and requested to be driven home. Gast then allegedly suddenly stopped her car and demanded her boyfriend exit the vehicle. The victim, her boyfriend, passed in front of her car to get to a nearby sidewalk. When her boyfriend passed the front of the car, Gast allegedly made eye contact before hitting the gas pedal in an attempt to run him over. Well, the first step in couples therapy is on the gas, as they say. Just kidding, it's not. It says the boyfriend smashed into the windshield after rolling across the hood of the vehicle. He shattered the windshield, lacerating his elbow in the process. The defendant admitted that she was pulling away when she hit the victim with her vehicle. The defendant said she slowed down and stopped to call the police, though. The defendant said she was in shock at hitting the victim, so she did not stop right away, but stepped on the gas. This is crazy. Gast claimed her cracked windshield was caused by her boyfriend punching the glass, not by his body weight. And that's the end of the article here. We just have to wonder if the... Well, first off, do you think they're going to make it, guys? What do you think? Do you think this couple's going to be able to plow through this like she plowed through him? Well, I suppose one could make the argument if you're paying for couples therapy, you may as well, have done some stuff worthy to talk about in the sessions. So hence the attempted murder. This is horrible. Let's cut to the scene of the couples therapy right after the car incident. So, Veronica, why don't you start today? I can see Roberts seems a little bit hurt. Yeah, she ran me over. Yeah. Well, what do you think she was trying to convey by running you over? Look, she ran me over, tried to kill me. Hey, we're not here to point fingers. Let's try to be productive, okay? You say she tried to run you over, and how did that make you feel? Like I got hit by a car. I'm frankly very crushed, Doc. Okay, now let's unpack that a little bit, shall we? And end scene. Hope you enjoyed my acting chops in that one. This is a really sad story. I'm getting laughs out of it, or attempting to, but this really isn't a laughing matter. This is a severely abusive relationship, clearly, and, we don't condone that here on Weird AF News. Oftentimes when the man is the victim, we tend to laugh about it, but that's not the right response either, so... we did learn something important today, though, with all of this. I mean, if you're gonna do a breakup, you should wait to do it in the therapy session. That way, if she attempts to murder you, you have a witness there.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
A flight makes a sudden diversion after the pilot says he's not certified to land the plane. I am not certified to land this plane. This is an Alaskan Airlines flight. It was forced to divert from its intended destination of Jackson Hole after the pilot admitted he was not certified to land the plane in Jackson Hole. What's the matter? He has an arrest warrant in Jackson Hole? Yeah, I wouldn't land the plane in a city that I have an arrest warrant in either. Let's learn a little bit about the piloting planes. And I had never heard of this before. I thought if you're a pilot and you've been hired, then you're okay with landing just about anywhere you're paid to go. Why would you put a pilot on a plane going to Jackson Hole if the pilot is not certified to land or approved to land in Jackson Hole? We have Alaska Airlines Flight 3491 that was approaching Jackson Hole in Wyoming when the pilot reported from the cockpit that he was unable to land. Did he make this announcement over the speaker is what I want to know. That's got to be something that you don't want to hear as a passenger. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just want to let you know we're not going to be making it into Jackson Hole because I'm not qualified to land. So I'm just wondering, is there a pilot on board? Anybody know how to land a plane back there? Anybody must out there. Has anyone ever tinkered around with those flight simulations on the computer? Get up here, please. If you have, I'm going to need a little bit of help. Okay, what happened to the plane? It says here the plane was diverted to Salt Lake City instead, where it landed safely. So the pilot was approved to land in Salt Lake City. Then another pilot replaced the unqualified pilot before taking off and then landing in Jackson Hole about 3 hours later than the scheduled landing time. There was a statement made by the airline. They say that the flight was indeed diverted, and they cited a lack of correct paperwork as the reason. There's some inside information from a passenger that was on that flight who shot a video of it, apparently, and you can hear the pilot speaking over the PA saying, quote, "Hey, I'm sorry, folks. I'm really sorry, but due to me not having the proper qualification to land the plane in Jackson Hole, we need to divert to Salt Lake City. We'll keep you posted on the next steps." Yeah, again, that's not something you want to hear as a passenger. You would think that the plane would just make the diversion and give another reason, and then tell people when they landed what the real reason was. You don't want to hear that you have someone piloting the plane that doesn't have all the paperwork in order. Really? Yeah, that's just my opinion. You don't want to hear, all right, nobody freak out, but yeah, I don't know how to land a plane. I only know how to fly a plane, so yeah, probably should have tackled that before we got off the ground. But hey, you know how it is. Well, we're going to try to land this plane in Utah, fingers crossed. Here's some more information as to why this pilot wasn't qualified. The Jackson Hole Airport is at an elevation of nearly 6,500 feet. The airport has a special PIC, which is a pilot in command qualification, as well as an SAAT Level 4 rating, requiring a more experienced line check airman sitting pilot. They're saying that this particular pilot may not have been senior enough to land in difficult weather conditions, which pilots refer to as ceiling and visibility unlimited, which would explain why they diverted. Well, I guess I'd rather have the pilot just divert to an airport that he is qualified to land in rather than this tricky one in Jackson Hole and putting the entire crew and passengers in danger at that point. But you would have thought they would have figured this out before they got off the ground, as I said. But, given the realm of possibilities as to what can go wrong on these flights lately, especially the Boeing planes, let's be thankful the doors stayed on this one. I just think it's so crazy that they made that announcement over the PA, though. I mean, it's just like, you don't need to do that, man. Don't leave us that uncomfortable back there. Yeah, certain things can be kept secret. Oh, these airplane shenanigans always never fail to remind me of the movie Airplane, which I'm just so a fan of. Like, they made crazy PA announcements in those movies. I love the one where the black men are complaining about an illness, and the flight attendant can't understand what they're saying, and then the old woman steps up and goes, "Excuse me, flight attendant, I speak jive." And then she talks to the guys, and she say, "Hey, cut me some slack, Jack. Chump don't want the help. Chump don't get the help."
The land down under has never been easier to reach. United Airlines has more flights between the U.S. and Australia than any other U.S. airline, so you can fly nonstop to destinations like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Explore dazzling cities, savor the very best of Aussie cuisine, and get up close and personal with the wildlife. Who doesn't want to hold a koala? Go to united.com/Australia to book your adventure.
Hello, my friends and loyal listeners. I hope you had a nice weekend, and I hope you enjoyed that Florida Friday story. I got a lot of good feedback from it. So, got a nice email from Susanna, who lives in Australia, all the way from Australia. She said, "Jonesy, I was annoying my family yesterday saying Pinellas County, trying to imitate the way that you say it because those stories are so much fun. I look forward to every episode of your show to cheer me up while I'm getting ready for work. Have a great day, Susanna." Isn't that a lovely email? I think that's very sweet. I love to hear from listeners. If you would like to send me a little note of cheer, my email is funnyjones@gmail.com. I'm very excited to announce a few people joined the Patreon over the weekend because they wanted to get involved in the Weird AF News Patreon Fantasy Football League, and they got on it, baby. And now we're going forward with the Weird AF News Fantasy Football League in the Patreon because I have enough people. I got 12 people total in the league. This is great. This is exactly what I wanted. It's going to be a good time. So here we have shout-outs for the following people that were so generous. They joined the Patreon. First, we have Denise McCloat. Denise joined the Patreon specifically to get involved in the Fantasy Football League. Also the same with Ramiro Cuevas. Ramiro joined the Patreon, so shout-outs to Ramiro and Denise. And last but not least, Michael Platzer joined the Patreon as well. So big shout-out to Michael Platzer. And so we want to welcome our new patrons, supporters of the show, and and now owners of a soon-to-be owners of a fake football team, which is a lot of fun. So there's, in addition to joining the Weird AF News Fantasy Football League, there's many other great reasons to join the Patreon because I am constantly putting in amazing content in there. So if you want more of my weird brain and what really gets me going in the world of weird stuff that's sometimes too risque for the podcast, certainly a lot of stories that are have video components that are inappropriate for an audio podcast. And check out the Patreon because I put a lot of stuff in there. It's quite entertaining all on its own. So go to patreon.com/weirdafnews to do that, or weirdafnews.com, my website, and just click on the Patreon banner. Anyway, so thanks to everybody who joined the Patreon over the weekend. We will be looking forward to having a fantasy draft, which I will make an announcement about in the Patreon. And just overall, I want to give thanks and praise to everybody who's been sticking with me for the show. Without your loyal listenership, where would I be, guys? Where would I be? You're very important. So I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you. And good luck with your life, man. And good luck with your shoes. Yeah, your shoes, man.